Hello, humans. So I'm here today to talk about manifestation and how to manifest what you want into your reality, because the universe is infinite and there's nothing more powerful than the power of intention. Even my cat meowing down below me, I'm still going to make this video happen. So, I think the reason why I chose today to do this is because I felt particularly inspired. I went to the Learning Light where I used to work a couple years ago. I worked there for about a year and a half or so, and the experience completely changed my life. And I remember starting there, and I was in a really, really shitty situation, a really bad place, just mentally, physically, but I was led there through the universe, and being there healed me. And so being there today, it made me take a mental inventory of where I've been, where I'm at, and where I'm going. Well, the reason that I went there today was because I was doing my attunement for Reiki level 4, I believe. It's the Master Reiki. It's the level that you can teach it. So I went for the attunement. You know, it was a 2-part thing. I'm actually going for the lecture in the class next month, but I went today for the attunement, and it was a good experience. I felt the symbols that I was attuned with today were very, very powerful, and I felt particularly drawn to one of them when I was getting the attunement happening, and so I think that's what motivated me to actually light a fire under my ass and do this, because I've been wanting to make these kinds of videos, I guess, for a while. And so back to where I was. So like I said, I took a mental inventory of where I was, where I am, and where I'm going. And right now I'm in a very, very, very good place in my life, and it's not by luck or by accident or by coincidence by any means. I am here because I created this reality. I manifested everything in my life that I have, and I am here to share with you that you can dream as big as you want. Think of basically the sky is the limit. Like I said, you may be placed with certain obstacles in your life, and it may seem like it's impossible for you to live your dreams because you're experiencing so much adversity. But if there's anything that I can share from my life, which I'll have to go into in another video, you know, different stories and things like that, but I do just want to share that I have been very fortunate to be able to come into this understanding and experience, and I have a lot to thank the Learning Light for in particular. Like I said, I went there in a place in my life where I felt very, very lost, and I was getting my degree at the time. I was still in college. I was still at Cal State Fullerton getting my degree in linguistics. And it's crazy how I was going there, and then I was working at the Learning Light part-time, and I learned more there about the world and how just the universe works than I ever did in any other institution of learning. The Learning Light was like Hogwarts, okay? So, with all that being said, the most powerful thing in the universe is your intention. Looking back at all of that adversity that I experienced in my life, it wasn't really it wasn't really adversity that I was experiencing from the external world, at least. The problem was my mind and my thinking and my thoughts. And as soon as I figured that out and I was able to shift my thoughts, shift my thinking, is when my life started to change. You read a lot about, like the book The Secret, and then there's countless other books and authors out there, like Bob Proctor is someone who I really like and respect. His book You Were Born Rich is really amazing if you get a chance to read it. But numerous people have heard about and talked about the law of attraction. You are what your thoughts are. You create your own reality with your mind. And that is absolutely true. My issue that I have with some of those books, and I think I identify a little bit more with Dr. Wayne Dyer, kind of on this matter. He's written extensively about manifestation and things like that. And it's not enough to think about things and use visualization and wish for something magically to happen to you. You have to pay attention to the signs that are being presented to you. You have to allow for that intuitive guidance to come in and take action on those synchronistic moments that are undeniable to you, and you will know when you experience them because they're so personal and intimate that you can't deny, like, oh my God, this is the voice of God right now. I need to move. I need to get on that. Too many times people will have these kinds of experiences, and most people in the world will dismiss it as coincidence. I'm here to tell you that there is no such thing as a coincidence ever. The universe is highly efficient, and everything is divine timing. I know this also because I study astrology, and the exact moment that we were born says everything about us, and it's kind of trippy because then you start thinking, well, what is free will? But that's another subject. I don't want to get too confused, but what I do want to talk about is some basic kind of astrological concepts that can help you to manifest new ideas, because if there's anything that has been very helpful to me on my journey, I've been able to get everything that I've asked for. You may not get what you're asking for right away, but the universe never tells you no. You may get a pause on something. You may get an idea put on hold, but that's just because something better is coming. Something that is better suited to you and to your needs is coming, but you may not see it yet, but the universe always knows. So one thing that a lot of people don't realize is that when you set an intention energetically, there is a gestation period. And it's said, in the world of psychology, that it takes about a month, more or less, to make or break a habit. So about 28 days. If you think about it, 28 days, that's a magical number. That's the gestation period for most things to kind of fall into fruition if you take action on it. So it's not like you set that intention and then 28 days later you're magically going to get what you want. No. You set an intention, and then in about 28 days you'll start to see some kind of result that your actions are starting to manifest in the physical. And you can always ask for a sign. Like, you'll probably notice something, though, within that period. But you can always ask for things that are specific, you know. And like I said, the universe is always there to surprise you. You never know what's going to happen. But again, going back to that 28 days, obviously we know, like, the female menstruation cycle is every 28 days, you know, from when the egg gets released from the ovaries and, you know, all that fun stuff. But so it also, lunar cycles are also every 28 days. So you'll start to notice if you're female too, once you start to align yourself with lunar energy in particular, your menstrual cycle will kind of align itself with that as well. And if you're fortunate enough to have that experience, you know, you're very lucky, because it means that you're in alignment with the womb of creation, quote unquote. So I want to talk about, in particular, the lunar cycles and how you can use the energy of the moon to manifest whatever you want. So, okay, so when the moon is full, okay, and then it starts to go down and get like smaller and smaller and smaller, that phase of the moon is waning, okay? And then so when the moon is a new moon and then it starts to get bigger and become a full moon, that's called a waxing moon. So this is really important and key to know when trying to manifest and utilizing that energy. New moons mean new intentions. It means it's a good time to plant the seed and set the intention. This is what I want. And you know, you have to kind of find your own way of utilizing that energy. Some people like to do rituals. Some people they just like to kind of set that intention. Some people, you know, they just ask the universe and meditate and pray or visualize themselves in however they want. I do a bit of everything. I like to write my intentions down, and I like to be very specific about what I'm trying to manifest. And when you're trying to manifest things, like I said, the universe is infinite, but when you're first starting with this, it's best to do things that are at least realistic within your belief system. As you start to see progress, your belief system will start to shatter. You know, once you start to experience results, it'll start to sink in, like, holy shit, I can manifest anything. But you have to start, at least in the beginning, with little things that you believe are attainable. So, see, for example, okay, I'm going to set an intention with this new moon that I am going to get a new job, you know, and then so you sit and you put all of your intention and focus into trying to manifest that new job. And then you take actions toward that, but know that it's coming to you. Don't sit there and think like, oh, okay, like, is it coming? Is it coming? Is it coming? It's like when you're baking a cake. You set your timer, and then you put it into the oven, and then you let it sit for a while it's cooking. But if you go and you open the oven and open the oven to check on the status of the cake, then it's not going to bake, because you're bringing down the temperature each time, and it needs to stay at that consistent temperature. So you set it and forget it, and when the timer goes off, that means that it's ready. It works the same way with manifestation too. If you're constantly obsessing over, is this working, is this working, is this working, it's always working. But you have to know that it's yours. You have to know it's yours. You have to know that the universe is going to bring it to you. And when it gives you signs, you don't ignore them. So what kind of signs, you might be asking? It can be a number of things. It can be a random coin that's on the ground. It could be duplicates of numbers. It could be certain animals that speak to you. In particular, pay attention to animals. Animals are our greatest teachers here on Earth. Humans have learned essentially everything from our animal brothers and sisters. But I will make another video about animal totems and kind of how to use them and understand their energies and things like that. But you need to learn how to follow the signs and just trust in the process. You know, you don't want to question it. You don't want to, like I said, obsess if something is working or not. You need to see yourself and act as if what you already have is yours, but in the meantime, you are taking actions to make what you want to happen real. So say you are setting the intention, like with the new moon, okay, I want to find a new job. We're going to use that. We're going to stick with that example. So you write down exactly what kind of job it is that you want. You know, be very specific. The more specific you are, and the more you're able to visualize that, the more likely you are that that is actually going to manifest. If you leave it out and open to interpretation, then you may, I mean, you can do that, absolutely, but in my experience, the more specific you are, the more likely you're able to keep that vision in your mind and see yourself there, then it will happen. So every day, you've just got to keep your eyes on the prize. You know, don't go into that state of worry like, what if, oh my God, what if I don't find this job in time? You're just like, no, I'm going to put out 10 job applications every single day. And I know that Spirit is going to bring it to me. Now, of course, the universe, like I said, just because you get no, it's never no. It just means something better is coming. And you have to kind of understand those energies. So, for example, we just had a new moon solar eclipse and when Mercury was in retrograde. So when Mercury goes retrograde, there tend to be delays and things. And it's a really bad time to sign contracts. So if you're trying to find a new job during Mercury retrograde, don't do it. Don't sign contracts. Don't do things like that. It's bad. But, you know, it's not even me telling you no. It's the universe telling you no. Because, and it's for the better, because usually after Mercury stations direct is when what you want will kind of start floating around. I mean, still, you know, do what you gotta do, keep applying for jobs or whatever it is that you're trying to manifest, but just kind of understand when you're going through those phases that it's not gonna come to you right when you want it, and you just have to understand and accept that there's not much you can do about it. And if you do find a job, it's going to be one that's going to be really shitty. Just from experience, like, this is the astrologer telling you don't fuck with Mercury retrograde. Okay, so with that being said, manifestation. So new moons, new intentions. Full moons are when your intentions have gone full circle, right? So it's not a time to manifest new things. It's more of a time for endings and for getting clarity. A lot of people who are really sensitive to energy might, or who have a lot of influence of the moon on their chart, for example, if their moon is in the chart, like, so say if they're a Cancer rising, for example, or you are a Cancer, or just someone particularly drawn to the moon, you may experience migraines on full moons because your third eye just becomes wide open. So full moons, I'm talking full moons now. Full moons are a time for bringing an ending, bringing closure to things. So there may be people and situations and circumstances in your life that no longer serve your greater good. They no longer serve your purpose and what you're here to accomplish on Earth. And So this is your opportunity to let those things go, and it may not be a physical thing. It may be a habit that you're trying to rid yourself. It may be a certain belief system that you don't want to have anymore. It may be fear or worry or anxiety or anything like that. That is your magical time to let those things go, and to ask for the universe for clarity on what the next step is. So then when it's time for the new moon, that comes in a couple weeks after that, you will be able to move forward in accomplishing your dreams and steps of goals. So just to kind of recap, new moons, new intentions, new things that you're trying to manifest, and full moons are about endings and closure and clarity and things like that. So this is a very basic kind of understanding of the lunar energy and how you can use it to your advantage. I'll obviously be getting more into this stuff as time goes on, but a lot of people, they don't know this. They don't know that this energy is there and that's available to them. The most important thing is to recognize yourself as a powerful being, because you are a very powerful being. There may have been certain situations in your life that you may have felt have disempowered you, but the biggest thing to know is that you are responsible for yourself. No one can make you feel a certain way without you allowing it to. And once you start to take that responsibility in your life, that's when you take ownership of your personal power. You know, you have to start telling yourself that I am a powerful, creative being. I am here co-creating this reality. I can have anything that I want. There is no limitation. The sky's the limit. What I can imagine is what can be mine, in essence. So people forget that, you know, and also the part of taking action when you're trying to set your intentions. Some people may feel like, well, there's nothing I can do about this. There's always something that you can do. There's two types of people in the world. There's those who are proactive and there's those who are reactive. So people who are reactive are the people who are just like, oh my God, life just happens to me. Everything is just always happening to me, and woe is me, and woe is my life, and I can't do anything because I've been screwed over and I'm so overwhelmed and screwed. People who are proactive say, okay, this is the situation, but, you know, this is just temporary. I am going to utilize all of the resources that are available to me now and make the best of what I can now. You know, and it's just a matter of being more productive, because if you're sitting there and dwelling on the past or worrying about the future, if you're not being present in the moment and you're not keeping your eyes on the prize and focused on what you're trying to manifest, then you're gonna go back into your old patterns that have been creating limitations for you. The reality is that the universe is working for you all the time, and you are your own worst enemy. But you can also learn how to be your greatest ally. And that's why, you know, once you start learning how to manifest and you start to produce results, that's going to do wonders for your self-confidence. When you start to see, like, oh my God, like, I am an awesome human that I never realized I had so much potential that was just laying there dormant. So it's always the time to tap into that energy, to tap into that potential, and be that now. Just be it. Don't tell yourself tomorrow, don't tell yourself next week. Just be it. Be the person who you've always wanted to be today. There's literally nothing stopping you other than yourself. So, that being said, this video is getting kind of long and I have already given a lot of information. But if you like this, like this video and subscribe to my channel because there's a lot more to come. So, have a lovely day.